Yeah, we're going to jump right into it. This is going to be a video about artificial intelligence, and this is a watch channel, and I talk about watches all the time. But I have other interests, and I've been thinking about a lot of other things other than watches lately, and one being artificial intelligence and kind of like the changes that are going to happen. I mean, I believe that they're going to happen really, really fast, and it's going to be exponential, and it's going to be like nothing other in the history of man, like some of the advancements that we're going to see in a very short period of time, stuff that's happening right now, especially on the medical front, right? The reason why this is all coming up, I put a post on Facebook not too long ago talking about this. And if you know me, um, I love talking about AI, and that's all I really want to kind of talk about lately. And my mother would have celebrated 93 years old. She died about 4, 5, 6 years ago. And so she would have been, but she would have celebrated her 93rd birthday. And I think about like all the changes, all the things that she had seen in her lifetime. And it's just, bananas that she grew up. She was born in 1932 in a very rural part of Puerto Rico on a farm with the six brothers and sisters. And they had no electricity or running water for like a decade and a half until like some like hurricane came in the 50s, early 50s, and blew out like the whole island. And after that, a lot of infrastructure came in, and they were able to get the electricity, get the running water, and build a cinder block home that was relatively hurricane proof. But yeah, I mean, I remember visiting that farm. On a side note, late 70s, early 80s, my grandparents still owned it, and they like crossed a little valley up a hill right across the way from them, maybe about half a mile away. They had some relative who lived in a tin home. You know what I mean? Like, like a tin roof, but like the whole house was made. I mean, that's like not too long ago. Um, People were living like, and it was fine for, I guess, for Puerto Rico. I mean, like that, he lived a long time in that house. But going back to my mother, um, all the stuff that she had seen, you know, um, jet planes, computers, internet, cures for diseases like, polio vaccines and whatnot. And I'm leaving a whole lot out. Cell phones, just a funny story. When my mother got older, before I brought her up here to live in an assisted living near me. She had a landline, and we got her a cell phone. My aunts had convinced her to just get a cell phone. You can bring it anywhere. When you go to the store, you have it. And so she got rid of her landline, and then like sometime after, I would call my mom, and the phone would ring, and she wouldn't pick up. And then eventually I would get her, and I'm like, "Hey, mom, you have a cell phone. Like, I'm calling, and you don't pick up." Well, it turned out my mother was leaving the cell phone, right where she used to leave the landline phone. She didn't realize that. She was like in her late 70s. She didn't realize that she could like bring the phone with her wherever she went. Anyway, just getting back to the changes. And her father, my grandfather, who lived to 97 years old, he died in 2007, was born around 1910. Like, even the changes he saw, like, imagine like Puerto Rico in 1910 probably looked a lot like Puerto Rico in 1810. And so like what he saw, just as equally as astonishing, in a lifetime. And I only bring that up because they saw a whole lot. And I think we are going to see just as much change, um, as they did, or maybe even more, because of artificial intelligence, what it can mean for, productivity. Um, Hopefully, for a lot of things, it's deflationary. I know that doesn't seem like it's happening now because inflation and prices of goods are still high, but some things will come down, I feel like, in the next few years. Medical advances. My mother passed away. She had Alzheimer's. And I think, like, like some of the benefits of AI in the future in regards to that is like, probably earlier detection, maybe even like a cure. And I think that will happen for a lot of other disease and whatnot. So I think we're on the cusp of seeing even greater change than humanity has ever seen in the next like 10 to 15 years with robotics, again, AI, and all the changes that brings. So, man, I think we just need to buckle our seats and look there. it's not going to be all peachy, right? There's going to be, some pain, especially with some job loss. I think that's what a lot of us fear, and I'll get into that in another video because I'm in my 50s, and that's what I'm worried about. But I think potentially there's going to be a lot of positive change, with artificial intelligence. And like I said just a few seconds ago, we got to buckle our seats because, man, it's coming. So get ready. Talk to you later.